bad things are about to happen. You don't do it? Okay. Oh, your child died of an illness last week. I'm sorry to hear about that. What the doctors say it was. I mean, that's who runs things. We've got to say no to them at some point because they're not going to stop. They're not going to back off. No one is safe until we recognize them and face them. And I'm not worried about myself, and I've even said it. I'm not even worried about my family. I just put them in God's hands because nobody's got a future if we don't stop these people. It's all in. You got to fully commit to it, ladies and gentlemen, and that means going and researching. So it's now admitted that the government has been caught shipping drugs in. That was New York Times Sunday, AFP Monday, but no other news, that they're shipping the guns in to blame the Second Amendment. There you go. And Issa says that it's up to Obama to fire Holder, fire him. He's not going to fire him. I told you Holder was going to come out and said Bush was involved. And Issa literally, basically, needed a diaper break, and that was the end of it. Holder walked in there and said, I'm not going to apologize. I'm not going to say anything. We could have maybe handled things a little better, but Bush was involved. And the Republicans all just went, we're going to go ahead and stop the testimony now. Thank you. My Swiss bank account. I mean, you reach this corruption level, and the other corrupt groups can get even more corrupt because they've always got dirt on the other group. And then it's just everybody goes to town, and what good old boys wouldn't do 50 years ago, I mean, they'd bid rig and military profiteer on bad parts and aircraft and, run scams and give each other contracts. That's all child's play. In this world, it's like, well, you're not going to run white slaves. You're not with the program, but it doesn't matter. We got all the dirt on you. All your narcotics dirt, all your other dirt. And that's why the movie The Godfather is so good, part one. When you really get knowledge about the world, and then you learn that Mario Puzo was actually writing about real people and real things that happened, just changing the names, Frank Sinatra, all of it. Where the old Godfather, who's got all the political power, biggest mob don in the U.S., he just runs whores, gambling, and had run liquor. And they come to him and they say, we're going to sell heroin. And he says, I'm not going to do that. That kills people. And so they try to kill him. And that's actually a true story. Just the last name wasn't Corleone. There is a mafia family in Corleone over there in the Mediterranean, but they're in Sicily. But the point is that that's how this works, you see. That's the thing about corruption. Okay, run hookers, because everybody wants that anyways. Alcohol, everybody wants that. Gambling, it's a vice, whatever. Run it. Make money off of it. Well, next let's bring some drugs in. Let's sell heroin to school kids. And then after that, let's go ahead and run hookers worldwide. Young girls we trick into working for us. And then let's actually just kidnap the young 14-year-old girls. And then let's just kill them when they get pregnant too many times. Or you know what? Let's just go ahead and run little kids. Get a lot of money for those. Hey, you know what? Let's go ahead and snuff film little kids. Oh, you're not going to do that? Well, you're already involved in all of this, so you're going along with it. What comes next? Let's just go ahead and take the veterans' death benefits. You know what? We'll just confuse them with some procedure, and we own the media. It'll be all right. The public are animals. Anyways, let us lose our souls. We're profane. We're not enlightened like the globalists. We're just a bunch of idiots. We deserve it. We're cattle. And here we are. And well, here's a little newsflash. I'm not evil. I'm smart to a certain extent. Got common sense, street smart, survival instinct, most importantly. I could have joined the dark side. There are a lot of people that figure this stuff out who decide to join with the evil. They decide to say, well, it's the winning team, and they join with it. I physically cannot join it. I physically am repulsed by it. I am physically repulsed by bullies and cheats and thugs and sickos and perverts and scammers and abusers, and they are my eternal enemy. Now, I'm going to go to a clip here in a moment that ties into this whole ATF situation. But here's the other angle. Confirmed, ATF plotted to use Fast and Furious to demonize the Second Amendment. And it goes on, ATF created the problem so they could be the solution to it. And CBS obtained the documents showing the ATF at the highest level setting up the Second Amendment to blame it on gun shops in America. Let's continue. The Daily Bell has an excellent article, all linked and bibliographed, in a move for global governance where groups that they're not sure who, but it's companies that is believed George Soros is behind, kind of like we thought he was behind Media Matters, and it turned out he was. They would deny it, and then it turned out he was. There's a multi-billion-dollar hedge fund buying up for 2-3 times what it's worth gun companies and then shutting them down. And they go out and get all the liberals to sucker in and buy into it, then to go buy up companies and shut them down. And also can get control of companies so they'll then agree and be spokespeople for gun control. There's no end to the victim disarmament nastiness that's going on. I'm going to cover this more on the Nightly News tonight. But I wanted to get to this right now. Chilling 911 tapes illustrate woman shooting home invasion suspect. And I turned on local talk radio this morning. They were playing these clips, and it turned out it wasn't someone she knew. But at the end, she sees him bleeding to death there and says, or shooting the guys on the ground. And she says, oh, gosh, I hope it's somebody I don't know. And it wasn't somebody she didn't know. They're busting in. She's telling them go away. They don't stop. And the 911 operator's like, well, maybe you shouldn't shoot. Police are about to arrive. And, of course, there's places like California, folks. Beautiful state, a lot of great people, but my goodness, a lot of them victims. I got daughters, and they're learning how to shoot guns. Well, the 7-year-old is. The 3-year-old will soon. And when they go away, wherever they go to college or wherever they live, we still have a country then, they're going to have firearms. And they'll live off campus if they have to. When they go on campus, they're going to have a stun gun. And you know what? My girls are going to kill anybody that tries to mug them or touch them. And my son, too. It is such a good feeling that I've got concealed carry holders that work in my office. It's such a good feeling I have a .357 Magnum right here. And we're not waiting to get on our knees to some criminal. We're not waiting with some nut to execute us in the dirt. Feminism. There was a big study came out where feminism is actually the one that degrades women and is misogynistic and devalues them. That was always the plan. Just because they labeled it feminism, get all the women working so the state gets the kids and so you can turn everybody into a slave and end the family. Turn women against men. All social engineering. They said, how do we get women smoking cigarettes? They said, pay the feminists to smoke them. And we'll get the money and it'll kill them. They knew this even in the 30s. And we'll get reduced population with it. They said, okay. They called them liberty torches. Go look it up. Edward Bernays. Your grandma died of cigarette smoking. It was trendy. It's trendy. People run off a cliff if you tell them it's trendy. Well, this woman didn't go with the trendiness. There have been some robberies in the area. She got a .38. Everybody calls it .38 Special 38. Or even a .357. .357 is a deadly round. It's high velocity for a small handgun. And she shot the guy 3 times. She kept coming in. And, boy, you see the photo of the guy. He looks like he was whacked out on Keebler Elf juice or something. Let's go ahead and go to this chilling audio. And the national media, the local media was like, should she have done it? And callers were calling in Texas and saying, no, she should have shot in the air. Oh, yeah, maybe she's in an apartment. Yeah, shoot the people above you. No, if you're going to pull a gun, aim right at the center of them and pull the trigger and unload. Because there are a lot of people, you shoot them once, they get mad. You shoot some really mean person, some crazy person, you don't know what drugs they're on. At least pop them 4 or 5 times. Let me tell you, if I ever pull a gun on somebody, I'm pulling the trigger. You don't aim a gun at somebody unless you're going to pull the trigger. And she did the right thing, but they're all like, she should have fired in the air. Oh, yeah, some guy's breaking in. Well, let's go ahead and go to the tape. Here it is.
He's coming into my front yard. Oh, God, he's coming to the window. I'm going to shoot him again. Ma'am, don't. Where is right there? There it is. I'm going to shoot him. Okay. Ma'am, listen, the officers in the area. I don't want you to fire your gun. He's coming through the window. Lady, hurry up. He's coming in. He's coming in. Is he coming into the house? Yes. I got him. You shot him again? Yes. Or you shot at him? No, I shot him a third. He's coming through the window. Okay, 3 shots. Oh my God, he's on the ground. He's on the ground.
The suspect, 37-year-old Jesse Theus, is shot dead.
Okay.
The operator.
Now, in the full tape, which I'm going to air on the nightly news tonight, he's busting in. It just goes on as he's breaking through the window with his arm. She shoots him once, keeps coming. Shoots him again, keeps coming. Comes through, she shoots him again. And you look at the photo of the guy. In fact, can you guys pull up the ABC News article? It's got his photo. Chilling 911 tapes illustrate woman shooting home invasion suspect. Chilling 911 tapes illustrates woman shooting home invasion suspect. Just click news, it'll come up. I mean, he looks like, from his other previous arrest mugshot, that he was, I don't know, that looks like PCP, LSD, methamphetamine on top of it. I mean, look at him. He looks completely out of his gourd. He looks like Charles Manson. And you know what? It is such a good thing to live in Texas or to live in Arizona or to live in Vermont with our lower crime rates, because you don't have as much. And in Texas, they come by, and if you're home, they barely break in because they understand most houses have got people with guns who are going to kill you. But the media is saying, well, was it wrong to do this? They are, and one local host was, it's kind of scary. The liberal, it's kind of scary that she did that. I don't know what I think. I mean, can you imagine having somebody like that as the father of children? This local host has children. Can you imagine fathers who don't have firearms to protect their family? I mean, what are you going to do when somebody comes in with a knife or a gun into your house? What are you going to do? Just like get out and lick their boots? I mean, what are you going to do? How are we turned into this? How did we become this? How did we get a media that this old woman gets a gun a week before, because there's been break-ins in the area, a guy that looks like he's whacked out on every drug known to man is breaking through, she's shooting him and he's not stopping. And people say, is that the right thing? I heard women calling in saying it wasn't. I mean, they want to be raped. They want to be killed. They're trendy.
Attention, GCN listeners.
We got Gerald Celente coming up right at the start of the hour. We're going to get him on the horn as Corzine is about to testify. He told the Washington Post, though, he didn't know where the money went. The private bank accounts they took. This is the former head of Goldman Sachs. I don't know where the money went, but he says he's sorry he doesn't know where it went. I'm sorry, I don't know where your private accounts we drained went that weren't even part of MF Global. And the media's like, well, that's kind of reasonable. A third committee is now calling him before him. And then they'll act like they're real concerned, while a lot of them, it turns out, in the Democratic Party have been paid off, including Bill Clinton. What was it? He gets $50,000 a month, I was reading Bill Clinton gets from MF Global. Oh, this is one of the biggest campaign contributors. In fact, just last week, Corzine had a big, what was it, $30,000 a plate for the head table, $10,000 for the other plates to be an Obama fundraiser? They're literally contributing part of the money to their little puppet, Obama. I mean, this is just Chicago mob going, hey, boss, look at the public. They're a bunch of idiots. Let's go ahead and take their bank accounts. Yeah, let's do it.